There are 10 ways that I have seen that music producers, artists, anyone that is a creative in the music business space that you're doing and neglecting, which is basically sabotaging your music career. These are the game changers that if you make these small adjustments that will help to get your career on track so you can actually get to the next level. So before we start, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe here on Top Music Attorney YouTube. I'm releasing videos every single week to help you with your music career. All right, so number one, building a very strong online presence, aka your business card. We're gonna hit this super fast because when it comes to what is the impression that someone's gonna have of you, they're typically not gonna meet you in person. So we have to remember that in the digital age, people are going to first and foremost go to your Instagram, go to your TikTok. And so if you aren't paying attention to what it looks like, if you don't have, let's say, a simple landing page for a website, or your website is incredibly out of date, that is not going to fare well for you. This includes for your new fans. If someone discovers you and they hear your song and they go to follow you or to see, should I follow this person? Is their stuff interesting? What you have on those platforms really matters. So please make sure after you watch this video that you just take a minute to go and look at each of your platforms and please make updates. Okay, if you need to post something, it's time to post. Number two, networking and building relationships. Now, what I want to just note about this is the importance of introducing yourself. Most of us are not social butterflies. Most of us have social anxiety. And even if that's not the case for you, some of us just don't even want to be around other people. But when it comes to being in the music business and having leverage through relationships to get yourself to the next level, to get homie hookups, to get some discounts. All those things are relationship based. So you want to obviously make friends and align yourself with people that are doing things similar to what you're doing, but also aim high. So you want to make sure you surround yourself with the types of people who are going to help to lift you up and inspire you. If you're not hanging around people that kind of symbolize and do the things that you're trying to do, then you're going to stay in the same place. And so what you can do if you're like, okay, well, great, how can I go and meet someone who's making six figures in their music career and crushing it on social media? Well, what value can you bring? Okay, so what can you do in exchange for basically making friends? If you provide a lot of value upfront for someone, and then, you really should just not expect anything in return, because if you don't get it and you were expecting it, then you're not going to want to do it again. But this has to be just force of habit, that you just give a lot of value to people because people are going to be like, wow, this person did this thing for me. That was amazing. And a lot of people are reciprocal. So if you do something for them, they'll want to do something for you. But really what we're saying is make friends. Number three, when it comes to these neglected strategies that are ruining people's music careers, you have to create compelling visual content. All right. So it's not just, I need you to make content and post and do it every day, all day. That's a different conversation. Okay. What I'm talking about is the stuff you do release. If you're posting once or twice a month, if that's your gig, cool. Because again, if someone's going to look at your feed on one of your social media profiles, it doesn't matter when you posted it. That's the stuff they're going to look at. So when they're looking at the stuff, let's have something that's really visually compelling with your cover art, with your music videos, or even if you're just shooting content yourself, right? Maybe you're not doing a lot of productions, but really try to see how you can up the ante a little bit so that your online presence has the same kind of feel and vibe, of the music that you have, but then B, of the type of audience you're trying to connect with, right? So if you're like, I love goth kids, those are the ones that, listen to my music, and posting something that is super saturated and colored and bubbly and all the stuff isn't really going to connect with the audience you're trying to reach. So be compelling, all right? Number four, you want to develop a very strong strategic marketing plan. Okay, so it's not just, I have a song coming up, I really should promote it. That's great, right? So someone I'm mentoring, he had a song drop, amazing, and I was just checking his social media a few days after the song came out, and he had posted maybe once or twice about it, and it wasn't really compelling, wasn't really representing, and the song was fantastic. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't stand in your own way by not promoting something, and a part of that just comes with, if you don't have a plan, life gets in the way. So guess what? It's Friday, the song's coming out, but you have work. And then you have a family thing afterwards. And then, you didn't get to the gym and you're really stressed out. And then the next day, you're not really feeling it. It's Saturday. So do you see what I'm saying? It's just a domino effect and you'll just literally get in your own way. But if you had a marketing plan, whatever it is, hey, I'm gonna, post a couple of times, I'm gonna have some kind of consistency, you will thank yourself very, very much. So we're gonna stop sabotaging ourselves and we're gonna move on now to number 5, which is we're going to embrace music education. All right, so when I use the word education, I don't get a super great feeling. I'm not like, yes, let's educate ourselves. So let's use different terminology. We're going to say we're going to learn the music business, because when we learn the music business, we learn the rules of the road. We learn the rules of the game. We learn how to make money. We learn how to make ourselves successes, to connect with audiences, and to make really our dreams come true. So when we say we're going to embrace music education, it's just what's missing in your knowledge about how the music business works. And the people who take a little bit of time to go through a course, right? Go through a course, go to one of those workshops, get private lessons, seek a mentor. You can pay for a consultation, right? With like an attorney. There's all kinds of things that you can do to try to start bridging that gap with your knowledge. Because in my opinion, I think everything that you need to know, you could learn in 4 hours. But it takes most people 10 to 20 years to learn that information and to take those 4 hours. Let that sink in. So don't let that be you. If you take the time, you plant the seeds, now it's just going to grow and you're going to start strategizing. Moving on, number 6, you need to make sure to actually get feedback. Make sure the people who are giving you the feedback on your music, on your project, they need to be credible. They need to know what the hell you're doing, right? And to just be like, oh, you do rock music? Well, I do rock music, right? It shouldn't be, oh, you do rock music? Well, I'm a rapper. Like, if it's someone who's not even kind of doing the thing that you're doing, right? You need to kind of have a grain of salt with that. Also, when they were doing the thing is important. If it's someone who did their thing like 30 years ago, they might not be with it these days. So, little grain of salt, but actively get feedback, little criticism for the people who are willing to give it to you, because, your friends typically won't. They won't be honest with you, but take it and know that, there might be a little truth that you can learn something from, apply it, and it can make you better. Number 7 of the ways that we're going to stop sabotaging our music careers is that we're going to invest in live performances. Now, a lot of us don't do a ton of live performances. It might not be, something that makes sense. And for some of us, it's all we do, all day, every day. But if you're not the person that does a ton of live performances, think about it, because it's just a way that you can make your fans who already think you're great feel super ooey gooey all about you. There's just something so great about seeing each other's eyeballs. They get to meet you, they get to hear you sing or perform or do whatever you're gonna do, and they wanna buy your merch. It's gonna be great. So if you could just try to figure out some way that you're doing a live performance and actually meeting with your fans, love it. Number 8, we're going to actually utilize the data and information that we have. Back to social media. There is a ton of information about your audience on every single one of your social media platforms about, for example, on YouTube, how long are people watching your video? When do they drop off? This is all in your analytics. What's your age demographic? Where do your fans live? Are your fans male or female? This is all information that you can get in Instagram. So if you go in and just look at the people who are following you, you're going to get a lot of insights, and data matters, not your feelings, data. So you're going to take that data, you're going to analyze it, you're going to learn from it, and you're going to thank yourself for doing just that. Number 9, when it comes to ways we're going to stop sabotaging ourselves, we need to make sure that we have a clear, concise goal list, ? It's not just having, what's your goal? Well, my goal is I want to have a sustainable career. I want to make 6 figures annually, and I don't want to have to ever take another 9 to 5. I love that. That's a big global goal. But what I need from you is I need a daily goal. What are you doing every single day? A weekly goal, a quarterly goal, and an annual goal. So when you start thinking like this, you go, okay, so what do I want to accomplish this quarter, right? So for the next 3 months, this quarter, I want to have at least one EP released, or at least one, single and a music video. When you start thinking like that, now you're thinking like a music business, you're thinking like a record label. And this is how we start making huge change in our careers, because we're not just going day to day. I don't feel like it today. Oh, I don't feel like it tomorrow. Like, it's not about your feelings. Have a goal and have a bunch of goals based on, again, day, month, annual, quarter, all the things. And when it comes to the ways that we are totally sabotaging our music careers, be sure to like this video, Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to go on to it. But before I do, make sure you just message me on Instagram on Top Music Attorney if you are basically in the music business, looking to connect. If you need a community, I got you. Come say hi. So number 10, you need to make sure that you are actively taking care of, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, because this is literally how we're going to biohack ourselves so that we can become monsters in the music business. You're not going to do very well if you are constantly sick. You are not going to be able to invest very well into yourself or your career if you just aren't feeling it and you're feeling super depressed and super anxious. So you got to deal with those monsters to become the monster. You like that? So, you got to take time. So here are the things, right? Exercising, meditating, walking. Even walking was kind of tough for me, but like meditation has been a huge struggle for me forever. And I think I realized at one point, I go, that's the problem. The fact that I can't just stop and calm down and calm my mind for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tells me that's really the problem, right? And so it took a lot of time for me to get into these different disciplines. And sometimes I just totally lose it. Sometimes, I forget my tools. I forget to do the things I need to do every day to really have consistent performance. That's what you're looking for. You don't want huge ups and downs. You want to create consistency within your mind, within your body, and that's how you show up every day. And that consistency makes you a fantastic monster in the music business. And I know you guys are going to crush it. So we're talking about the game-changing strategies. I went through 10 of how you're going to stop sabotaging yourself. But obviously this takes dedication, perseverance, a willingness. So anyway, tell me what you're doing. Message me on Top Music Attorney on Instagram, and thanks for watching.